Here's a powerful speech in Myron Golden style, full of conviction, wisdom, and practical steps. The speech is designed to engage, inspire, and empower the audience to take control when dealing with a narcissist. The first step in dealing with a narcissist is understanding exactly what you're up against. A narcissist isn't just someone with a big ego. They are master manipulators who thrive on control, dominance, and emotional chaos. They don't see relationships the way normal people do. For them, interactions are a game, a power struggle where they always need to be on top. The moment you understand that their goal is not love, fairness, or mutual respect, but control, you can stop expecting rational behavior from them. Narcissists operate through a carefully crafted cycle of manipulation. At first, they charm and flatter you. They make you feel special, seen, and understood. This is called love bombing, a tactic designed to gain your trust quickly. But the moment they feel like they have you, the switch flips. Suddenly, the same person who adored you is now criticizing, demeaning, and gaslighting you. And just when you're about to walk away, they pull you back in with apologies, fake remorse, or future promises. This cycle repeats over and over until you feel emotionally exhausted and completely dependent on them for validation. Now, here's where most people get trapped. They believe that if they just explain themselves better, try harder, or show more love, the narcissist will change. But let me tell you, narcissists don't change because they see how much you care. They change only when they realize they can't control you anymore. They manipulate situations to make you question yourself. They twist conversations to make you doubt your own memory. They downplay your feelings and make you feel like you're overreacting. This is called gaslighting, a psychological tactic designed to strip you of your confidence and independence. The more confused and emotionally unstable you become, the easier you are to control. That's why recognizing the game is crucial. You have to stop seeing them as a person who just needs help or understanding. A narcissist is not looking for healing. They are looking for dominance. They are not trying to meet you halfway. They are trying to pull you under their control. The moment you see this clearly, you stop falling for their lies. You stop believing their false apologies. You stop making excuses for their behavior. You must accept that this is who they are. They don't play fair. They don't fight fair. And they don't care about fairness. The only way to win is to stop playing their game. A narcissist's biggest addiction is attention. It doesn't matter if it's good attention or bad attention, as long as they are the center of your focus, they are winning. Every argument, every emotional reaction, every time you try to defend yourself, you are unknowingly giving them exactly what they want: power over your emotions. Narcissists crave admiration like oxygen. They want to be seen as special, superior, and untouchable. In the beginning, they will seek praise, compliments, and validation. But if they can't get admiration, they will settle for control. They will provoke insult and create chaos just to keep you engaged. This is why arguing with a narcissist is useless, because they don't argue to resolve anything. They argue to win. Now, here's the trap most people fall into. They think if they just explain themselves better, if they just make the narcissist understand, then maybe things will change. But let me tell you something a narcissist already understands. They are fully aware of what they are doing. The problem is they don't care. When you react emotionally, whether through anger, frustration, or sadness, you are showing them that they still have control over you. Every time you get drawn into their drama, they feel validated. They see that they still have influence over your thoughts and actions. That's why ignoring their insults, refusing to engage in arguments, and maintaining emotional control is one of the most powerful things you can do. But here's the thing, narcissists hate being ignored. They thrive on attention, and when you stop feeding them, they panic. They will try harder to provoke you. They will escalate their behavior, push more buttons, and even play the victim just to pull you back into their cycle. They might suddenly apologize, pretend to be vulnerable, or promise to change just to keep you hooked. This is called hovering, a manipulation tactic designed to suck you back in. When that doesn't work, they might switch to triangulation, bringing in a third person to create jealousy, competition, or insecurity. They might compare you to someone else, spread false rumors about you, or try to turn people against you just to keep you emotionally invested. They will do whatever it takes to keep your focus on them. This is why going no contact or practicing gray rock, giving them nothing but boring, emotionless responses, is so effective. The less you react, the less power they have. The moment you stop feeding their ego, they lose their grip on you. A narcissist does not respect boundaries, they test them. They push, manipulate, and cross the line just to see how much they can get away with. They thrive in environments where people are too afraid, too confused, or too hopeful to enforce consequences. That's why if you don't set firm boundaries, and I mean ironclad boundaries, you will find yourself in a never-ending cycle of manipulation. The problem most people have is that they mistake requests for boundaries. A request sounds like this: can you please not talk to me like that? I would really appreciate it if you stopped treating me this way. I wish you would respect my feelings. Let me be very clear, a boundary is not a request. A boundary is a decision you enforce with action. A real boundary sounds like this: if you continue to raise your voice at me, I will leave the conversation. If you keep disrespecting me, I will remove myself from this relationship. If you manipulate me again, you will lose access to me. Notice the difference. One is asking for respect. The other commands it. Narcissists look for weak spots in your boundaries. If you say I'm done but keep engaging, they know they can still pull you back in. If you say I need space but respond to their messages, they know you don't mean what you say. If you say this is the last chance but give them 5 more chances, they know they have no real consequences to fear. That's why when you set a boundary, you must follow through. The moment you allow them to break a boundary without consequence, you are teaching them that your words mean nothing. You are showing them that they can keep crossing the line without penalty. Narcissists are like children who test limits. If you tell a child, don't touch the stove, but they touch it and nothing happens, they will do it again. But if they touch the stove and get burned, they will think twice next time. A narcissist operates the same way. They don't respond to reasoning. They respond to consequences. But be warned, when you start enforcing boundaries, the narcissist will not take it lightly. They will escalate their behavior. They will guilt trip, manipulate, and try to make you feel like you are the bad person for standing up for yourself. They might say things like, "You're being so cold and heartless. I guess you never really cared about me. Wow, you've changed. You're not the person I thought you were." This is all a tactic. They are testing to see if you will break, if you will fold, if you will go back to being easy to control. They are hoping you will feel guilty, second guess yourself, and give them another chance to manipulate you. And this is exactly why your boundaries must be non-negotiable. You don't explain them. You don't justify them. You don't debate them, because the moment you start explaining why you need respect, you are already losing control of the conversation. Boundaries are not about convincing them to change. Boundaries are about making it impossible for them to mistreat you. A narcissist's strongest weapon isn't their words, it's their ability to control your emotions. They don't just insult you, they get inside your head. They don't just lie, they make you question your own reality. They don't just hurt you, they make you feel like you deserved it. The moment you allow them to dictate how you feel, they win. See, a narcissist doesn't need to put physical chains on you, because the real chains are psychological. They keep you locked in a cycle of highs and lows, validation and rejection, approval and punishment. One day they love you, the next they ignore you, one moment they build you up, and the next they tear you down. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's one of the most powerful forms of manipulation. Let me tell you why it works. When someone treats you badly all the time, it's easy to walk away. But when they mix kindness with cruelty, you become addicted to the hope that they will change. They will give you just enough love to keep you hooked, just enough attention to keep you chasing, just enough approval to keep you trying. This is the same psychological trick used in casinos. The gambler doesn't win every time, but they win just enough to keep playing. And the longer they play, the more they lose. Now here's where most people get stuck. They try to reason with a narcissist. They try to explain their feelings, thinking that if the narcissist just understood how much they are hurting them, they would stop. But let me tell you something a narcissist already understands. They know they are hurting you. They see how their words and actions affect you, but they don't stop because your pain is their power. That's why the key to escaping their grip is detachment. When a narcissist can no longer control your emotions, they lose their ability to manipulate you. Detachment means you stop seeking their approval, you stop reacting to their insults, you stop letting them trigger you. It doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop letting your feelings dictate your actions. But be ready, when you detach, the narcissist will notice. They will feel their control slipping, and they will do everything in their power to pull you back in. They will push your buttons harder. They will say the one thing they know will get a reaction. They will try to guilt trip you, provoke you, or even play the victim. They will act like they are the one who's been hurt, as if you are the one being cruel. They might suddenly become kind and affectionate, showering you with love and attention. This is not real change. This is a hovering tactic, a last-ditch effort to suck you back in before you fully break free. And if that doesn't work, they might switch to anger and threats, trying to intimidate you into submission. If that fails, they might run a smear campaign, telling others that you are the bad guy, that you are the one who hurt them. All of this is designed for one purpose: to get you to react. Because as long as you react, they still have control. As long as you argue, defend yourself, or try to prove them wrong, they are still winning. That's why detachment is the most powerful thing you can do. It's not about silence, it's about emotional indifference. When they realize that nothing they say or do can affect you, they lose their grip completely. Narcissists thrive on chaos. They need conflict to survive, just like a fire needs oxygen. They provoke, insult, lie, and manipulate, all to get a reaction out of you. Why? Because your reaction feeds them. It gives them energy, power, and control. The moment you argue, defend yourself, or explain, you are stepping onto their battlefield, and they never play fair. This is why one of the most powerful tools you have against a narcissist is silence. But I'm not talking about just keeping quiet. I'm talking about a strategic silence that completely starves them of the reaction they crave. See, a narcissist doesn't care if you're happy, sad, or angry. As long as you are emotionally engaged, they are winning. When you withdraw that engagement, they panic. Most people think the best way to handle a narcissist is through logic, reasoning, or deep conversation. They believe if they can just get the narcissist to see what they are doing, then maybe they will stop. But let me tell you something a narcissist already sees. They already know. They just don't care. And every time you try to explain yourself, you are giving them more opportunities to twist your words, confuse you, and make you doubt yourself. Silence is not about avoiding conflict. It's about refusing to participate in their game. It's about removing yourself from their manipulation tactics. But here's the catch. When you go silent, a narcissist will not take it lightly. They will escalate. They will push harder, trying to provoke you. They will insult you, belittle you, bring up the past, or try to guilt trip you into responding. If that doesn't work, they might suddenly switch to kindness, pretending to care just to see if they can still pull you back in. You have to be prepared for this. You have to understand that their words are just traps designed to pull you into their web. They might say things like, "Oh, so now you're ignoring me." That's real mature. "Wow, I guess I never meant anything to you. I see how it is. You don't even have the decency to talk like an adult. I can't believe how cold you become. You used to be different. None of this is real." These are scripted attacks meant to get a reaction. They are desperate attempts to break your silence and regain control. But if you stand firm, if you refuse to take the bait, you will see something incredible happen. The narcissist will start to unravel. Without your reaction, they start to feel powerless. They start to feel like they're losing control. And nothing terrifies a narcissist more than realizing that you are no longer emotionally available to them. This is why silence is such a powerful weapon. It forces them to confront their own emptiness. It leaves them with nothing to manipulate. But silence is not just about ignoring them, it's about mastering your emotions. Because the truth is, you can be silent on the outside but still raging on the inside. That's not real silence. Real silence is when you no longer feel the need to engage. When their words no longer trigger you, when their attempts to manipulate you no longer stir up a response. That is when you truly take back your power. And this is why silence is not weakness, it is strength in its purest form. Because when a narcissist realizes that their words, their games, and their manipulation no longer affect you, they are left with nothing. They will scramble. They will try everything they can to regain control, but without your reaction, they are powerless. A narcissist doesn't just manipulate you privately, they manipulate the way others see you. They know that control isn't just about dominating you in one-on-one interactions, it's about shaping the entire story around you. If they can control the way others perceive you, they can control how you react, how you feel, and even how you see yourself. This is why narcissists are master storytellers. They twist facts, distort events, and rewrite history, all to make themselves look like the hero or the victim and make you look like the villain. The moment they feel like they're losing control over you, they start smearing your name to others. Suddenly, they are telling mutual friends, family members, co-workers, or even social media followers their version of events, and their version always paints you in a bad light. They might say things like, "I tried so hard to make things work, but they just won't communicate. I've done everything for them, but they are just so cold and distant. I think they're struggling mentally, but they won't get help. It's really sad. I don't know what happened. They just changed and started treating me badly." They play the victim because they know it works. People naturally sympathize with someone who appears to be suffering. And if they get enough people on their side, they can isolate you, make you doubt yourself, and even pressure you into going back to them just to prove that you're not the person they are portraying you to be. And here's where most people make a critical mistake. They try to defend themselves. They rush to explain, to prove that they are not the bad guy, to set the record straight. But here's what you need to understand. A narcissist is not interested in the truth. Their smear campaign is not about facts, it's about perception. They don't care if you have proof, logic, or evidence. They're playing a completely different game, one where emotions, gossip, and manipulation matter more than facts. So, how do you fight back? You don't fight their way. You don't get defensive. You don't waste your energy trying to explain yourself to people who have already been manipulated. Instead, you control the narrative in your own way. First, you live in a way that contradicts their lies. If they say you're unstable, you stay calm and composed. If they say you're cruel, you act with kindness and grace. If they say you're out of control, you carry yourself with confidence and dignity. Your actions will speak louder than their words. Second, you limit their ability to spread their story. That means cutting off their access to your life. You stop sharing personal details, you remove mutual connections who feed them information, and you take control of your own story. Narcissists rely on access. They need people to relay your reactions, your struggles, your emotions. When you cut off their information supply, they start losing control. Third, you choose your battles wisely. Not every attack needs a response. Narcissists want you to waste time fighting shadows. They want you to be so busy defending yourself that you forget to move forward. That's why sometimes the best response is no response at all. Let them talk. Let them spread their lies. The truth has a way of revealing itself over time, and when you refuse to play their game, they eventually expose themselves. And finally, you build your own network of truth. While the narcissist is busy spreading false stories, you surround yourself with people who know who you really are. People who have seen your character, your integrity, your actions. Because the people who truly matter, the ones who are worth keeping in your life, will not be fooled by a narcissist's deception. A narcissist's greatest fear is losing control of the story. When they realize they can no longer dictate how you are seen, when they see that their lies are losing power, when they recognize that you are no longer reacting the way they expected, you strip them of one of their most powerful weapons. A narcissist doesn't just manipulate your emotions, they manipulate your mindset. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, and insecurity, making you question your own worth, abilities, and even reality. They don't just attack you with insults. They wear down your confidence over time, little by little, until you start seeing yourself through their distorted lens. At first, their control is subtle. It might look like harmless teasing, backhanded compliments, or small criticisms disguised as helpful advice. They might say things like, "I'm just trying to help you, but you never listen. You're so sensitive, can't you take a joke? I don't think you're cut out for that, but hey, prove me wrong." These small jabs don't seem like much on their own, but over time, they add up. You start second-guessing yourself. You start feeling like you're always the problem. You start believing that maybe you are too emotional, too difficult, too weak. And once a narcissist has you in that mindset, they can control you without even lifting a finger, because you will start controlling yourself. This is what makes narcissistic manipulation so dangerous. It doesn't always look like direct abuse. Sometimes it's just systematic self-doubt, a slow erosion of your confidence until you become your own worst enemy. And that's exactly why the only way to break free is to rebuild an unbreakable mindset. The first step is recognizing the programming. A narcissist's words are designed to make you feel small. So every time you catch yourself doubting your worth, hesitating to stand up for yourself, or feeling like you're not good enough, ask yourself, where did this belief come from? Was it truly yours? Or was it something that was planted in your mind to keep you under control? Because here's the truth. If a belief does not serve you, it is not yours to keep. If it weakens you, it was given to you by someone who wanted you weak. If it makes you feel powerless, it was placed there by someone who benefits from your powerlessness. Once you recognize that, you can start rejecting those thoughts one by one. The next step is rewriting your self-perception. Narcissists attack what they fear. If they constantly made you feel like you weren't smart enough, it's because they saw your intelligence as a threat. If they always belittled your dreams, it's because they knew you were capable of achieving them. If they made you feel unworthy of love, it's because they were afraid you'd realize that you were too good for them. Their words were never a reflection of you. They were a reflection of their own insecurities. Now, here's where most people struggle. They expect confidence to just appear overnight. But confidence is built, not granted. You don't wake up one day and suddenly believe in yourself. You prove it to yourself through action. Every time you set a boundary, you build confidence. Every time you walk away from manipulation, you build confidence. Every time you make a decision without seeking validation, you build confidence. Confidence is nothing more than evidence that you can trust yourself. And this is why narcissists work so hard to keep you uncertain, because the moment you trust yourself, you don't need them anymore. They can no longer gaslight you. They can no longer control your emotions. They can no longer make you feel small. Because when your mindset is unshakable, their words, their actions, their manipulations no longer have power over you. But be prepared when you start standing strong in your own identity. The narcissist will panic. They will try to pull you back into their cycle. They will use guilt. After everything I've done for you, shame. Wow. I never thought you'd turn into this kind of person. And fear. You'll never find someone who cares about you like I do. These are all just tricks to make you doubt yourself again. That's why the final step is absolute, unwavering belief in your own strength. You don't argue, you don't justify, you don't defend yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You simply become the person they tried to convince you that you weren't, because that's the version of you they were always afraid. Dolph powerful move you can make when dealing with a narcissist is also the hardest: walking away for good. Not just physically leaving, but truly mentally and emotionally disconnecting from them. Because a narcissist's power over you doesn't just come from their presence, it comes from the hold they have on your mind. And as long as you are still thinking about them, still trying to understand them, still hoping for closure, they still have control. See, a narcissist doesn't fear losing you. What they fear is losing control over you. They don't care about you moving on. They care about whether or not they can still affect you. And that's why they don't just let you go peacefully. No, they will pull every trick in the book to keep you attached to them, even from a distance. The moment they sense you pulling away, they will suddenly become everything you ever wanted. They will apologize, tell you they've changed, promise to do better. They will say things like, "I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize now how much I hurt you. I can't imagine my life without you. I finally understand what you were trying to tell me. Let's try again. This is not real change, this is a trap." This is called the hovering phase, and its only purpose is to suck you back into the cycle. If you fall for it, the moment they feel like they have control again, they will go right back to their old ways. Because a narcissist does not change, they adapt to whatever will get them what they want. And if playing nice doesn't work, they will switch tactics. Suddenly they will become cold, cruel, and vindictive. They will spread lies about you, try to ruin your reputation, or play the victim to anyone who will listen. They will do everything in their power to provoke you into reacting, because your reaction is proof that they still have control. That's why when you walk away, you must make it absolute. No second chances, no explanations, no closure. Because closure is a trap. It's just another way for them to drag you back into a conversation where they can manipulate you one last time. You will never get real closure from a narcissist because they will never admit the truth. The only closure you need is the one you give yourself. But here's where most people struggle. They leave physically, but not mentally. They stop talking to the narcissist, but they keep replaying conversations in their head. They wonder if they made the right decision. They feel guilty. They want to prove that they weren't the bad guy. And this is exactly what the narcissist wants, because if they can live in your mind rent-free, they are still winning. So, how do you truly break free? You erase them from your life completely. Block their number, delete old messages, remove them from social media. Cut ties with anyone who still feeds you information about them. You stop looking for signs that they regret losing you. You stop wondering if they're thinking about you. You stop giving them space in your thoughts, because every second you spend thinking about them is energy stolen from your own healing. And most importantly, you focus on yourself like never before. Because the best revenge is not proving them wrong, it's becoming so strong, so unshakable, so completely at peace that their memory holds no power over you. A narcissist's worst nightmare is realizing that they are no longer the center of your world. That you are thriving without them, that they have been completely, utterly erased from your life.